Hi, my name is Jane Powell. Welcome to Community Connections, brought to you by the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation. This is a show about community involvement. Today, our guests are the YWCA Board Chair, Lois Crichton, Development Director, Carol Sun. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here.
We're delighted. Well, we're delighted that you invited us to come, and delighted that the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation is such a supporter of the YWCA at all times, especially with the Women of Achievement.
Thank you. Thanks. Well, and we know the Y is a big organization and encompasses lots of events and lots of programs and helps the community in many ways. But today we're here to talk about something special, an event that's coming up, Women of Achievement. Carol, why don't you tell us just a little bit about it?
Well, the Women of Achievement, we are now in our 19th year. It is the 19th annual Women of Achievement Luncheon. This year, it's always the first Friday in March, so it will be March 6th at noon at Embassy Suites. And I know that we have a long track record of keeping it to the time slot of 12 to 1:30 p.m., and we're shooting for that again this year.
That's great. That's great. So an hour and a half, that's quick because you honor some great women. Lois, how do you decide?
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Yes, I can imagine that it is.
Well, the nominations come from the community, come from our past honorees, and basically, you know, we look at women in the Kanawha Valley in leadership positions. Sometimes we're looking for people who are trailblazers, doing something that would not be a non-traditional role for a female. We're looking for individuals who, by their life's work, emulate the mission of empowering women and eliminating racism, which is the mission statement for the YWCA of Charleston. So that's part of it. And you know, this past year we had over 30 nominations.
30 nominations.
Yeah. So the competition's tough. It would be amazing if we could honor all of the women, because, quite frankly, all of the women who get nominated are, you know, really outstanding women of achievement. But we have to narrow it to 3. So.
Okay, so from 30 to 3, who'd we pick this year? Who are the 2015 Women of Achievement honorees?
Well, it's you know, as always, the class is really outstanding. The first honoree is Kitty Julie, and she comes from a very traditional West Virginia background. Her father was a coal miner, and very young, she decided at age 12, I'm going to be an attorney. And a matter of fact, that's what she is, and she has a private practice here and has been very successful in that. And her passion is around affordable housing for people, which is very much in alignment with the mission of the YWCA.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she led an initiative to raise $60 million for the rebuilding of some of the most depressed housing in urban Charleston through the Charleston Kanawha Housing Authority. So real great there. And another area, along with many accolades, but one of the things I'd like to highlight is she's very involved in a project honoring West Virginia's first black attorney, the J.R. Clifford Project. So the whole idea of eliminating racism is really something that she does extremely well and fits with our mission. So delighted with Kitty as one of our honorees.
You know, what I know of the honorees in the past, and I feel it to be true this year, not only do they achieve in their career, but they are so good at supporting their community.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and that's to say, they're multifaceted people, you know, and you know, by attending the event, which I encourage everyone to do, you walk out the door and go, oh my goodness, I got to step up my game.
That's right. That's right. So we have Kitty, and who else?
Sharon Flannery. Sharon Flannery is also an attorney, coincidentally. She is one of the country's leading lawyers in energy, mining, natural resources, oil, gas, and law. So the foundational things that, from an economic standpoint, are really important to our community and our state. In addition to being an attorney, she's also a petroleum engineer. So the fit with what she does and how she's been able to be so successful in the field has to do with her background and her education, as well as just her personal ability and dynamics. As well, one of the things I want to talk about with Sharon is she is all about the professional development of women. in her law practice and the women and the partners and the female partners in the law practice, she's all about uplifting, encouraging, growing, and as well, she's been an integral part of the recent Charleston Area Alliance Women Energy Forum. So
nice.
she's a leader in that as well, because that's a wonderful community. So neat woman.
So we have Kitty and Sharon, and that there's one more.
One more. Well, last but not least, and this is her time, Judy Wellington. Dr. Wellington, President and CEO of the Clay Center for the Arts and Sciences of West Virginia. And Judy really has had an impact with this cultural educational science institution that is just a vital part of our community. Her leadership of that organization has really taken it to new levels all the time with that. She's a PhD, I said Dr. Wellington, organic chemistry from Harvard University.
Wow.
So she's quite lettered and esteemed and has had some great work experience, but really has been just amazing in our community, reaching out to children in education on the science arena in our community. So she is just an outstanding leader for us, and she's wrapping up her tenure with the Clay Center.
Right.
And so, as I said, it's her time for us to really acknowledge what she's done for our community.
So this is a great class.
They all are, right?
They all are. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So we take the 3 Women of Achievement honorees and we add a 4th person to this, a very special 4th person.
Right. As Carol mentioned, it's the 19th year for the Women of Achievement event, but it is our 10th annual year for an Empowerment Award winner. And so we're delighted. Once again, Brook Street is our corporate sponsor of that award, and Amy Thomas is our Empowerment Award winner, and I cannot wait for you all to meet her. She is a firecracker. And she's a wonderful woman. And the Empowerment Award winner came from honorees who said, yeah, we've had lots of opportunities and we've got lots of acknowledgement, but we think it's important to recognize someone who has come through one or several of the programs of the YWCA, someone who has risen, someone who we have offered a hand up, they've grasped it, and now they're moving forward because of the services that the YWCA Charleston provides. Amy's one of those people, and you got to come to the event. You got to hear her story because it is compelling. She is a victim of domestic violence, a survivor, and she is now attending one of our other great partners, West Virginia State University, and seeking a double major in criminal justice and social work. And what she wants to do is serve our community through law enforcement, become a community advisor and advocates for domestic violence victims, to share her strength that she's gotten with others who need that strength. So Amy is an amazing woman who you all will have the chance to hear her story at the event.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. So we know that not only do we honor these women, this is a fundraiser for the Y. Why is that important?
Absolutely. This is the fundraiser the YWCA puts on in the spring. It funds all of Y's programs. So we're talking about, critical services, safety, shelter for homeless women, children, and families, for victims of domestic violence and their families, early education for low-income children, permanent housing for victims of elder abuse, transitional housing, as well as permanent housing for chronically homeless and disabled women. And so altogether, that's 10,000 of the most vulnerable women, children, and families in this community, and that community being Boone, Clay, and Kanawha counties, which is our footprint. And so you can imagine with the trends nowadays, we do receive government funding, but we see that never goes up. Year after year, we see cuts here, cuts there, talk of cuts. And so fundraisers like this is us asking our community to help us, to help supplement what we get, from our grants and things like that, but to support our community and the work that we do. And this is certainly the most important fundraiser for the YWCA's programs across the board.
Yeah, and it's quite an event, we know that. another event that maybe does not get the publicity that this event does, but is very emotional and uplifting at the same time, is Breakfast with Champions.
Yeah.
Tell us just a little bit about that, Lois.
Yeah, it's what our honorees, when we get back together and have a reunion every year with our past honorees, because it's a great network of really awesome women that love to be together. They always come back and say, yeah, the luncheon was great and we appreciated, but the tour that you took us of the facilities are amazing, and the time we got to spend at Breakfast with Champions, it made it all worth everything and was such a give back. What we do is we look for young 7th grade students in some of our inner city schools. We look for young women who are at a crossroads. They're guidance counselors. Select them. They select them because they realize that they have leadership potential, but they have things in their personal lives that may be barriers for their success. So we call them out, and the honorees, these very successful, powerful, motivating women, spend a breakfast with these young women who have the potential as well of being leaders, and that is at West Virginia State University. We want these young women to imagine that they belong on a college campus. It's for them.
I think that is my favorite part of the event,
It's
we physically put them on the campus so they can see that it's real. It's a possibility.
Yeah, it's pretty wonderful. And I just want to add to that is, and we haven't, and my apologies, our title sponsor for this event this year, and it has been for the last several years, is Huntington National Bank. They are a great supporter of everything that the YWCA does. So big shout out to Huntington National Bank, as well as Breakfast of Champions. ECA, Energy Corporation of America, is our sponsor for the Breakfast with Champions.
So an event that is a sellout every year, that honors these women, takes a lot to put on, make it happen. That means sponsors and volunteers. And I know that you have some sponsors that have helped us every year, that continue to be there for us. And who can we thank for this event this year?
Oh yeah, well, as always, as I said, our title sponsor, Huntington National Bank, couldn't do it without them. Every year they're like, sign us up again, we're back. So that's fabulous. Brick Street is our empowerment award winner, so Amy Thomas, and they ally really closely with the empowerment piece of it, so they have come back year after year to be our empowerment. ECA, Breakfast Champion, this is their second year doing that. We have gold or benefactor level sponsors. Those are our just biggies, and so just a little shout out to them.
Sure.
Spillman Thomas and Battle, Appalachian Power, John and Fonda Elliott, always there with us, Steptoe and Johnson, Columbia Pipeline Group, Charleston Area Medical Center, our great friends at CAMC.
That's right.
BB&T West Virginia Foundation, one of our leaders for change, the Flannery family, and the Clay Center are some of our really peer top people this year. City National Bank and United as well, and I could go on. And we are so blessed, and we are very grateful. And I think what happens is these companies know that we are good stewards of their dollars.
That's right. I think that as someone who has attended the event before, it is like no other. I do appreciate the time commitment, that I know that it is not an all-afternoon event, that I can go and I can celebrate these women in a given amount of time. Let's face it, we're all busy, that's important. And supporting the YWCA and all their many missions. As we kind of wrap things up, why don't you tell us, Carol, one more time how we can get tickets or become a sponsor of the event?
Yeah, well, I join with Lois, in thanking the sponsors. And I, as development director, I would be amiss to not to say that opportunities are still available to join this prestigious group of people. And as you see, our sponsors for this event hits the spectrum of industries and leaders in this community. We're talking energy, law, families, leading families. And so now you can still become a sponsor by calling me, Carol Sun. My number is up there, 304-414-3113, or you can just shoot me an email, very easy, csun, CSUN, at ywcacharleston.com.
That's great.
.org, I apologize.
Thanks so much, guys. I love learning a little more about the event. I love talking with you, supporting the YWCA. We're so glad. Hope everyone gets a chance to mark their calendar for March 6th, noon at Embassy Suites. Join the YWCA to sponsor or to celebrate these women. And thanks for tuning in to Community Connections. We'll see you next time.